So you're a big advocate and recruiter for HBCUs. What
Yes,
is the
I am.
overall sentiment of prospective HBCU students right now? Are they super interested in HBCUs? Are they complaining about and not enough scholarships? Are they complaining about the response times from the universities? Talk to me about what you're seeing and hearing.
I would say that going. Let me see how I want to rephrase this. College now is way different from when I graduated back in 2006. Going back to school virtually for 3 semesters of my graduate career, and 1 semester I was actually in person in Virginia, back on campus. After COVID, everything's digital now, so there's very little face-to-face communication. If you miss an email, you can be short. You're not on Blackboard or you're not on good Wi-Fi, you're not going to be that productive. Versus when we were in school, everything was pretty much hands-on, like pen, paper, writing it down in class, talking to the teacher. Versus now, everything is pretty much email, text message. Students are excited to go to college. I believe after COVID, people wanted to just get out of their hometowns and get out of their comfortable space and just see what's out there because with everything we've been seeing on the news and the media with not just Black Lives Matter but just all these random shootings and these they're shooting at churches, they're shooting at schools, they're shooting at the supermarket, anywhere, anytime, any day. One of us could go out of here and we not know what's going to happen to us. And so I think that makes students more resilient and wanting to just go after their goals and go to college. And HBCUs have always been in headlines, but we're in more prominent and dominant headlines now, like our Vice President, Kamala Harris. Not only is a graduate of Howard University, but she's also a member of a sorority. You have Oprah Winfrey, who just went back to Tennessee State and gave the commencement address. That's the richest woman in the world, is from an HBCU. And then when you think about now with the younger kids now, they love to get on Google and research everything. They're looking and seeing that a lot of our prominent leaders were graduates of HBCUs. Like, the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, legacy of, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Samuel L. Jackson, Taraji Henson, and just the list goes on of people who have gone to historically Black colleges and universities, and are even Nick Cannon, who's already a millionaire, went to Howard to get his degree. He could have went anywhere, but he went to Howard. So I think the testament of legacy is big because people see more and more, and the older they get, and how blatant racism is, and I think the kids today see why HBCUs existed. It wasn't just about hanging out and having fun and the same songs I listen to. It's more so now this is a safe space for us. These are where people I identify with, and they know the different colloquialisms. They know we know each other's body language. So we know the connotation of certain words, like versus going to these PWIs, nothing against them. And I've had friends and family that have attended them. They have to stamp their space. They have to make their presence known, and they have to make people understand why things aren't right. Versus going to an HBCU, we know these things already. You know what I'm saying? We it's an unspoken bond. It's an unspoken connection that you have there. So I believe students really want that now. Like, and I thank people like Beyonce for having her set being, homecoming theme, the whole HBCU. She never went, but she said she grew up in Texas and she saw Texas Southern's band and she always loved it and wanted to be a part of that. So that was her way of honoring it. So of course, just people bringing exposure to it, whether it's the NBA, Beyonce, with the content that's on television now that they're trying to put out, like, was it All American Homecoming? I just appreciate mainstream giving HBCUs the props that they deserve because some of the most awesome people come from those schools. And as statistics have shown, most of the world leaders and doctors and lawyers and educators come from HBCUs. And let it be known, most students that are enrolled in graduate programs at HBCUs are not Black. They are white. Okay? A lot of these doctors with these names we can't pronounce got their medical degrees at Howard. Okay?